Waiting for things to happen can feel frustrating and disempowering. It can create fear and doubt and can keep us in a circle of waiting. But what if the shift isn't coming? What if it's already here? And what if you have the power to move with it, to create what is next? Allow this reading to reveal how to move with this big shift and open up to the possibilities right here, right now. My readings tend to go where the inner work is required, which is not always comfortable, but always useful. So if you're ready to notice or shift something in your life, welcome in. And let's spend a moment to settle in. I ask my intuitive wise ones and your spirit guides to be present in this reading today, to illuminate the strongest messages for the highest good, allowing me to be a clear and neutral channel that is free of distortion, confusion, malice, and bias. So if you're ready to choose your pile today, timestamps are in the description. However, for those who would like a close-up of the cards, let me do that right now. For Soul Path 1, we have 72. For Soul Path 2, we have a question mark, a mystery. For Soul Path 3, we have number 44. So when you feel guided, choose the timestamp for your reading, and I'll see you there. For those who chose number 72, this message is going to be for you. This is the Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot, and I feel you have arrived somewhere. This big shift could have something to do with your personal goals, personal finances, within your physical body, physical location. But something here has come to form. It has taken shape, and you have arrived at some kind of juncture or goal that you have set out and did set out to make. Now, it might not be as big and fancy as you thought, but this is a moment to really appreciate where you are. And that could be what the big shift is about within the mindset, but also with whatever this Nine of Pentacle energy is. And I'm going to snuff out my incense because it is going to smoke me out. Yeah, it just keeps going. There we go. Sorry about that. For Soul Path 1. Interesting. I'm just getting a message. As I did that, I was like trying to put out the smoke, and I'm seeing somebody put a cigarette out in the ashtray. So there could be something here for someone about cutting a bad habit. It could be not smoking. It could be just trying to get healthier overall. So I want to see what this big shift is all about. You're making healthier choices with the Lovers. And I feel like you could be at this place right now or on your way to this place that feels very grounded. And the Emperor. Yeah. So there's some good times going on here. There's a wedding at this villa. And everybody's come to celebrate. Celebrate your choices, appreciate the landscape, being around friends. This feels really celebratory. I'm not even reading the Emperor as the Emperor, but there is something about being the leader of something here. So you could have made a really powerful choice, and these two are major arcanas. So there's a big decision that I feel you made for the long-term benefit of your health, or your physical well-being, your physical location. And I feel like this is a real moment to celebrate because you have created a new foundation for yourself, a new routine. And that's a big deal because there's something that maybe you had been doing for a really long time that you worked so hard for that you put so much time and energy into that you have reached that proverbial goal. But I feel like it's not this big, huge hurrah moment where it's like you have won the lottery. In that sense, I feel like this is about the small win that feels like it could affect the entirety of your life. Like there's something that you did every day that led to this healthy choice, this long-term commitment. But it was in the micro movements of what you did and committed to and put your time, energy, money, effort into. So I want to spend this moment to congratulate you on this big shift, because it feels like a big deal, even though you might be selling yourself short. So I want to know from here what the possibilities are. Ooh, Ace of Swords. I want one more, please. 8 of Cups. Yeah. So there's an idea here about what emotions you no longer want to carry. And what areas in your life have become stagnant that no longer feel fulfilling. So I feel like that's part of this big shift too, but it's also a part of the new possibilities. Now that you have navigated or are navigating this big shift, you are now coming to a place where you're having new thoughts, new mindset about something, new ideas. You're communicating differently. This is all very new, but you're also realizing where you no longer fit, where you no longer feel fulfilled, where you just become drained and empty after a situation or an interaction with a person. This becomes more clear. And I feel that's going to be part of what changes your life moving forward. Look at this, 9 of Wands. And when I see this is like, nope, nobody's pulling the wool over my eyes. Nope, I'm not falling for that. Nope, I'm not taking the bait. There's a real strength here, an earned strength that you have worked hard to achieve, and you're going to defend that to the ground. You're going to defend that. So again, congratulations. Now, I want to give you a key to unlock this. A key to, open the door to the possibilities. Yes. There's your key. My gosh. I love it when the cards are so clear. The messages are coming through very strongly tonight. This is in the little decisions that you make. It's not about the big ones. They might feel big, but also the little choices are what's ultimately going to affect these big choices down the line. It is what you do, how you prioritize your time, your health, the things that you spend your money on, the things that you invest your time in. It is those little things that will get you to that 9 of Pentacles and make you feel more comfortable and empowered making these massive decisions. So there's an extreme amount of growth that you are walking into. And with that, you are walking out of some kind of heavy situation or the responsibilities that you were never meant to carry. This 10 of Wands in reverse. You no longer want to stay stagnant. You no longer want to be drained. You want to feel empowered in your choices, in your life, within your body, in your mind, in your soul. And it happens in the small choices that lead you towards these possibilities and this massive big shift. But ultimately, that's also what this big shift is inviting into your life or allowing you to have access to. But it starts in the small things before it becomes big. So I'm going to close your reading now, my dear Soul Path 1. I'd love to know what meaningful message you are taking away today. And if you're sensing there's a little more to unpack here, follow the link in the description to join my private collective and gain access to my booking calendar. Thanks for stopping by today, and I hope to see you soon. For those who chose the question mark, the mystery wrapped in a riddle, This message is for you. To me, this is getting, well, first of all, you could be Generation X or Generation Z. I'm seeing a rotary phone here. So communication could be pertinent to somebody, but I also see a wheel of fortune or someone who's spinning some kind of game and they're waiting for the little clicker to land on one of these things here. But also, it's a portal. It feels like a doorway to something. And there's a lot of choices on this doorway of which direction could I go. And there are so many wonderful options here. So I feel the big shift has to do with a massive change in your life. And there feels like you have some choices to make about a specific path you want to go. And maybe there's a lot of overwhelm there. But also there's a mystery behind this. And I'm not sure what that mystery might be. What is shifting? Maybe the shift is a mystery. What is shifting here? Maybe this is the soul path that is waiting for the big shift or wants to make the big shift happen. And in my mind, I removed the F from all of those statements. So you can have a little fun with that one. We have the Strength card and the Six of Wands with the Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. There is an interesting strength that you have gained. There's a lot of courage here. Courage to maybe do something that feels pretty heroic. And maybe that's what the choices are all about here. There's also something about being seen and being visible and being celebrated. And there could be a lot of courage in doing that as well. So if you are, say, an introvert and you've won a trophy or a prize or something, you're asked to go on stage and do a speech. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. And even though you might be a little reserved or a little quiet or not used to something, I feel like there's a lot of courage and strength behind where it is that you're going or whatever this big shift might be. I almost feel like it redirected you in some way or internally expanded you in some way. So the cards are also saying something about you really getting clear on what success is and almost being confident with where you are, feeling like you don't need to choose. Maybe that's why I'm seeing this roll around and you not choosing, because maybe you have come to some point where you're good as you are where you are. And maybe that is a shift because maybe you're used to always trying, always doing, always achieving, always doing big things, whatever those big things might be. But here it's kind of like, well, I don't really aspire to open a doorway or to do something new now that I've achieved something. I just want to linger in the success. That's kind of what that feels like. And that feels different to you. At least that's what I'm feeling here. So we're looking at the possibilities. All right. And with that Two of Pentacles in reverse, it speaks to this idea of too many choices, maybe not enough time, or a fear of choosing and needing to do things differently with the Hierophant in reverse here. With this Two of Pentacles and Sun in reverse here, this is almost offering a possibility of what would happen if you didn't choose something until you understood why you're choosing it in the first place. So having the confidence in the waiting, and until you can clarify something here or build up a sense of confidence or strength. Maybe focusing on your core values to help you choose or succeed in something. Start moving in that direction. Even in spite of the fact that you're not 100% confident, I think that's on its way because it came out here in what this big shift is. So it has something to do with not making a choice and feeling a little uncomfortable with it for a while and doing something different. so that you can find success in new ways and maybe draw success to you. So I want to give you the key to unlock this possibilities of being okay as you are, where you are, knowing what you're worth, knowing what you want, knowing people have your back. There's more strength, Knight of Wands. That's the key, is to move anyway, even though you lack confidence. Choosing things not just for the sake of choosing them, but choosing them from a place of strength, from a place of courage and leadership, from a place of compassion and confidence. I am getting leadership here because this guy is like leading the pack. Even though it's the Six of Wands, it looks like he's got some fans, or he has some help, or he's leading people in some regard. So yeah, it's about leading, starting to do the thing that you want to do. Start to lean into the things that you want to do. Six of Swords in reverse, there's a little bit of stagnancy here. So I almost wonder if you're waiting for this to happen. If you're wondering when, the time is now. And it's up to you to start taking action that feels inspiring, that does feel courageous, that feels different, that gets you out of that spiral or that loop or that stagnancy. How can you break that, interrupt that? That's what this is about. And then I feel more possibilities will open for you. But I also feel like you won't need that, because you're going to come to a place that feels more successful. And it doesn't have to do with the external. It has to do with how you feel about yourself, within yourself. And I feel that's the big shift. So I'm going to close the reading, my dear Soul Path 2. I'd love to know what meaningful messages you're taking away today. And if you're sensing that there's a little more to unpack, there's a link in the description to join my private collective and gain access to my booking calendar. Thanks for stopping by today. I look forward to seeing you again. For those who chose number 44, welcome into your message. This is the Nine of Cups in the traditional tarot. So there's something here about personal fulfillment or satisfaction that is part of your big shift. Some really wonderful messages tonight, Soul Path 3. A lot of optimism coming through, a lot of achievements, a lot of wonderful feelings. It's almost like this feels like a respite. And that you can just spend a moment in this place for a while, just enjoying life, enjoying the things that bring you pleasure and joy. And that could be quite the shift from where you are. So I want to look at what's shifting. Yeah. So the chaos, the confusion, the wilderness you might find yourself in, I feel like it's settling. We've got the Tower in reverse and the Knight of Cups in reverse. This could have something to do with you saying no to somebody, or you withdrawing from some agreement, whether that's in a romantic relationship or a work situation. But you're pulling your energy back. I feel like this is bringing your emotional energy back. It's like, no, I'm kind of drained. I need to fill back up. I need to put energy into myself now. And we have the High Priestess in reverse. There's a sense of you not trusting this current moment, because the Tower doesn't happen because it's our fault. It happens through divine timing, through the cosmic cycles of the seasons and the universe. And sometimes things just happen. So it feels like one of those moments where you've had to navigate something massive that has upended. And now you're putting the pieces back together and realizing what you don't want to put your heart into anymore. And when you do that, there's a strong focus on self and how you feel. So there could be some blocks around feeling selfish, and that have possibly come into play before this fallout before things happened. And maybe this is that opening, that doorway to that place where you can feel satisfied and fulfilled and possibly loving yourself a little bit more. Let's look at the possibilities now. Ooh, big energy. More big energy. We have the moon at the bottom of the deck here with the Six of Swords in reverse and the Judgment. There's something here you are realizing that isn't going to get better. And you decide to hear some kind of call. Because down here, that chaos energy, it's just something that you can't fix, change, adapt to, or adapt from. It just feels like the container is too small. And if we think of a seed in a shell, when it's ready to become something new, it has to break that shell. And that's what this moment feels like. You're realizing that the edges of the shell are putting too much pressure on you. And there's only one choice here: to evolve, to grow, to ascend beyond this current experience. And there is a lot of unknowns. You are in unknown territory with this big shift. And if you are thinking of making a decision, this big shift may not come in. It's something you might have to initiate. And there could be a lot of fear around, if I initiate this, everything falls apart. What happens next? Yeah, it's one step at a time, but also a discovery process. Being very present with what is in any given moment and not thinking too far ahead, because that'll create overwhelm. What can you see in front of you right now? So let's look at the key to open this. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. This is a stop sign here of stop moving. And this Knight of Cups in reverse is this energy of stop feeling, putting your feelings into this when it's not giving anything back. Five of Swords. So that could be the reason. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, Seven of Cups underneath that. And the Nine of Cups is in reverse here underneath that. So I feel like you've known for some time that there has been a lack of love, a lack of fulfillment. And that's what this Nine of Cups here is in the upright. It is the big shift. But once you realize what's not feeling fulfilling anymore, there is some confusion, especially when you pull back that energy of, okay, now what? This is that moon energy. But it is about, how do I feel? What are my feelings? What are other people's feelings? So there's a bit of a quest here, an exploration. And then the Five of Swords comes in when you realize, like, okay, this is it. And that could be what creates this big shift, is this tension, this pressure, this conflict, maybe within, where the seed is pushing up against that wall. So are you going to stay small to prevent the shell from breaking, or do you have to wiggle out? So I'm going to close the reading now, my dear Soul Path 3. I'd love to know what meaningful messages you're taking away from today. And if you're sensing there's a little more to unpack, there's a link in the description to join my private collective and gain access to my booking calendar. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope to see you soon.